welcome to the To Freedom podcast. I am your host, Marina Theron-Monnery. Today I am welcoming a new guest. Mark Relic was born in Serbia in 1981. After studying hospitality, he began traveling and has been on the road ever since. His passions include writing, travel, teaching, and connecting with different cultures, people, and languages. He is a novelist, life coach, and English coach whose work explores self-awareness, mindset, personal growth, and the inner journey of becoming more fully oneself. Mark is the author of Marquez, The Woods, and his latest novel, The Monster, in which he continues to explore the human mind's choice and self-discovery. Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us today on this new episode of To Freedom. I'm coming to you from a very rainy Calgary at the moment, and we'll talk about my guests very soon here. So I want to welcome Mark Relic. Welcome, Mark. I'm very glad that you could join me today.
Thank you much. It's lovely talking to you. Thank you.
So, Mark, I've read The Woods, and I finished it, and I actually made so many notes for you. And so I'm going to have a lot of questions for you today. I first want to begin with when I did my due diligence on you becoming a guest on the show, I became very curious when I went onto your website. I saw all these very thought-provoking quotes, and I felt that this is going to be a very interesting discussion today. And I just want to read one of them. Learn how to shine inside before you go and shine elsewhere. Learn and practice appreciation more than expectation. Do you want an extraordinary life? Become extraordinary. Dare to bite the odds. Reward is external. Think big and wide. Act on that. Extend your mind. Build a long-term relationship. And if it hurts, it is probably worth it. Now that is interesting, Mark.
Well, thank you. You're very kind. Thank you.
Yeah, no, when I read, I mean, this is one of many, and I know there are newer ones than this one, but when I read that one specifically, I'm like, I so love what you write about. Become extraordinary in yourself first, and then also be grateful.
Absolutely.
Yes. So I want you to really to expand on those things for me.
Absolutely. It'd be my pleasure. Well, actually, much of my creative opus so far, I am deeply drawn by identity. And I have an impression that, years and years back, considering all that happened to us so far, I mean, the entire world, the entire race, everything, we are inclined to easily neglect our identity for whatever cause we have. And so I think that was something that we should put in the focus. Quite basically, this came about, and from the point of view that I was very, very curious about what happened if you would just go out on the street, just randomly pick a person and actually ask him, who are you? Who do you really think you are? I mean, to the core, to the bone, to the point that hurts. Like, can you really tell me? Like, I mean, how much do you know who you are? So I think with the touch of everything that happened to us in, let's say, past 5-10 years, I think that identity is a little bit, I don't want to say lost, but neglected big time based on what I saw. So I think, the more you investigate that, the more you find just extraordinary thing about ourselves, and so the more you are aware of that, the more you are able to explore and actually find beautiful things, like you are on your personal journey and your personal haven, and so another point from that matter is that internal journey, inner journey, can teach you much more than any external journeys. I mean, that's my findings. Um, and so a big deal, a big chunk of it, on the other hand, can be things you can't really express. You just have to experience that, So sometimes in a joke, I'm inclined to think that it's very challenging for me to express it, because I have to struggle with my thoughts quite a lot to come up with the suitable way to describe it. As that's what I'm doing. That's what I do. But what can seem like easy thing to read can be very hard wordsmith to be in the background. I guess that's why it has an effect. I guess that's why
Mm-hmm.
you were touched, and everybody else who reads it.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, I get a call, because I'm in a coaching business as well. I get a call with people. They don't know what they're doing. They're not sure in anything.
Yeah.
They lack self-confidence. They lack self-esteem. They have the golden life, but they have no idea
Mm-hmm.
how to do it alone. Shy people, nervous people, how to break down, how to break the ice. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And nothing makes me happier than when I see the breakthrough. When you spend with somebody a certain time leading them and coaching them through that, and when they find the true power and potential of their own identity, I mean, that's priceless to me at
For
least.
sure. So
Yeah.
what really attracts me to this is because I wrote a book called From
Right.
Survival to
Mhm.
Freedom, and it is my personal journey. It's a transformational memoir of being in survival mode, people pleasing, not
Yeah.
living as myself, to finding my true self and living as me.
Mm.
So as I base this entire podcast on that journey to freedom, which is to me finding me, how
Yeah.
can you define what freedom means to you?
That is a beautiful question. That is a fantastic question. I love that. You know what's funny? I mean, um, I would like to start from the point that freedom is variety of different things for different people. For example, what freedom is to me, it can be complete nightmare for somebody else, and vice versa. I think freedom comes. I mean, to put it bluntly, to put it simply, freedom comes from thinking with your own head first and foremost, not to think with any other's head but yours. And
Yeah.
so independence come in play. Um, Also, the great deal of freedom comes with finding out. I am going to use the gradations word to say meaning and the purpose. So I get called a lot about this, like, I mean, oh, it's very easy for you to say purpose and a meaning. I mean, some people live throughout their entire life not finding anything. Um, so it's a wide range of matter aspect to it. But I personally, I believe that freedom comes with a territory of your decision to pursue things you believe and love. For example, how many people can say that they truly love their life, no matter good or bad, at any moment, because your mind is a perfect machine for this. Your mind is designed to survive, not to make you happy. Oftentimes these two extremes, they get confused, being happy and being free. Okay. That's an argument for itself. So I would say, based on what I've been through so far, um, freedom is ability to love yourself first and foremost, because you can't love anybody else until
Absolutely.
you love yourself first. You have to take care of your garden. your
Right.
mind, your body, your everything. That's what I meant by extraordinary life. You have to
And
be.
that is so in that quote as well, that's exactly it. It's be extraordinary first in yourself. And that to me,
Exactly.
it's love yourself, is learn exactly what it, I don't think you know what love is until you love yourself.
Absolutely. And also, pretty much like, harsh times, pain and stuff like that, suffering. How can you know the other side until you know the gray side first? You know.
Right.
So you go through that, and you learn while you're down. Again, I have a tendency to simplify the language I'm using, so that's why I'm using these words. So based on what I can tell you, based on what works and based on discovered, um, the most free people are people who live under their conditions, whatever they may be. Whether you are a teacher, or were you a manager, or were you a president, athlete, whatever, you know. So if you live with those conditions, if you live so-called conditions, if you live uh, by your standards, the standards you make, because no one is going to make them for you. To be perfectly blunt, um, if you like that, if you wake up in the morning full of zest, full of that energy, the passion. Oh wow! I just woke up. One more day, fantastic. Let's do it. Let's hit it. If you have that passion would lead you to it.
Oh, for
And
sure.
so and so I think a lot of freedom comes also within involving, because freedom is
Mhm.
not final. You know, it's not a
No,
final.
it's a
Oh, okay.
journey. It's a total
Yeah,
journey.
I
Yeah.
know about freedom, and well, I'm happy. I'm on top of the mountain. No, I mean, based on
Right.
based on what freedom is as a concept, whoever give it a name, whoever give it a label, I am not sure if they thought it through, but who knows? One day maybe we'll have a different name for freedom, but so far we've been calling that. And yeah, so like I said, having desired lifestyle as you see it fit, and just living the life you like, not the life you have to live.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for that freedom, you have to fight. You have to fight, and you have one enemy, the biggest enemy, yourself.
So let me ask you about the journey to freedom for yourself.
Mhm.
What was your journey to freedom?
Okay, that's another great question. um, well, it's funny. I mean, I can tell you. I mean, since this is a personal question, I I have a funny thing to tell you that since I'm living now, I mean, basically now I can tell you, arguably, I can tell you, I live in the most zest of my life. These are the big, the strongest, the most powerful years, and I sometimes I go back, although I don't have a tendency to do that because I don't live in the past. But every period, every chapter in my life, I lived as I see it fit. Um, and the funny thing about that journey is that I don't quite remember. I'm not conscious. I'm not conscious of what I lived before, because my mind goes forward by being present. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
being present in a moment of now is the most powerful thing we can ever have. And yet the challenge is to stretch that mind, to basically stretch it as much as you can, because, well, you kind of want to, you kind of want to, we want to be, um, you want to be curious, and you ask yourself about, okay, what is on the table for me, I mean,
Right.
sometimes that's, by the way, that's the wood story that we're going to explore today.
Yeah, I was going to come to that right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So the funny thing about this journey is that I easily neglect things that happened. I respect them, but I don't live there. I have to say, I don't live in the past, and I remember only bits and pieces. To be honest, for example, I remember, I am inclined to remember some romantic things, some beautiful things when I was younger, but most of it's gone, because I train my mind to be very present in this moment. For example, talking with you, and all the things that I strive and fight for in the future. So that's basically my life. Wrapping those
No,
two.
that's interesting that you say that, because so I
Mm,
started to read your book, and so the book Marcus was the first one you wrote, and it's not available where I am. So I
mm,
read The Woods, and I really wanted to read your new one, The Monster, but that's
mm,
still not available here because it was just released.
mhm.
And I know The Woods is the first in a series of books that you are busy writing. And at some point, you did mention to me that it's actually an autobiography. Is that right?
Well, lucidly. Yes, you can say that.
Lucidly.
It's
Okay.
from all the novels I wrote, The Woods is closest to that. Yeah, sure.
So it's interesting because you talk about being present. And as I'm making my notes, I made a lot of notes. I
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
wrote that it's almost as if you were so present when you wrote it that we as
yeah.
humans have about 8,000 thoughts every day, and you captured
Mm,
almost every one of them.
yeah.
And it was quite fascinating for
Mm,
me, especially in the beginning of the book, from a dream you have about the man to going out with your friend and to this man coming to
yes.
your table. And
Mm,
so I found it absolutely fascinating that you captured it like that.
mm,
But then you take us on this journey. And I have
yeah.
to tell you, Mark, that the book left me going to bed at night thinking about it. And I think that makes a good story. And I questioned a lot of it in
Mm,
this, that you accomplish what you intended.
mm,
So
hmm.
in a way, talking to you before this, I realized that you wanted us as the reader to make of it what we choose to make of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
is that exactly what you want readers to get out of this?
Well, in a chunk, yeah. As you said, for sure, you're right on the money, right on the money. Um, so this book, The Woods, was actually, as I said, the most closest to some personal things I was going through, because at that time I was struggling with the having a very very tricky surgery operation on my back,
Okay.
and that I reflected in a story. Right when in a story that if you remember, when the main character, he's trying to catch a fish and he loses his balance and he
Right,
falls in the river.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's actually a breakthrough. When I was running in woods, I I oftentimes I wasn't conscious, no, because this place is even mystery for me even now, the woods.
Yeah.
and and um and what I wanted is, I guess, to ask provocative questions, because asking provocative questions is what my work is in teaching, in coaching, in writing, and whatever. um
Yeah.
so so it's actually, not to discover a lot, not to disclose a lot for potential people out there who didn't read. um it's strange journey of a person who is on a crossroads of being creative of content, towards the new revelation for him as he goes into this place called woods.
Yeah.
Like I said, this place called woods is mystery for me as well, even today when I think about it. um Especially as how story progresses and what happens toward the end. So yeah, provocative questions I had towards myself, because mind you, I was tied up on the bed over 6 months, not being able to move because I had a tricky surgery on my sciatica. And
Yeah.
this oh yeah, and this took me, I mean, uh, first of all, I wasn't sure if I was going to wake up from the
Mm-hmm.
anesthetics they gave me. I had all kinds of thoughts, and so I was lying on a bed at night thinking, how can I possibly use this? I mean,
Yeah.
what is going on here? How can I use this? Um, and so I needed I simply I decided to live in my mind rather than in my body. That's how the concept of woods came about. So yeah, I mean, I would say identity for sure. Identity
Right.
and this self-discovery and asking provocative questions in every possible sense of that word.
So as I'm reading it and I go through the character of the man, which
Mm.
to me read almost like, I don't know if you are familiar with the book The Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman.
Sure.
So when he met his, I want to say, guru, Socrates.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the wisdom of the man reminded me a lot of that, instilling these wonderful wisdoms into your life
Mm.
from handing you a map when you were sitting down with your friend,
Right.
and then the whole journey through the woods. To me, um, it really, you know what? There's one note I made at some point, and that was it evoked in me a
Mm.
desire to be there.
Ah,
Not
nice.
just in the woods, not just by the lake, the peacefulness, the
Yes.
beauty of it, but also the relationship with a man.
Mm. Right.
So is that something that you purposefully intended, or is it something that I guess from my own desires I read into it?
Okay, well, I mean, that's an interesting approach. Thank you for that. I'm glad that you have that as your impression. Um, well, I mean, based on what I can tell you, this, whatever character I'm writing about, uh, they simply create their own realities.
Mm,
If we go back a little bit, if we go back right before the what opens the book, there's a small point made. I never trusted a reality, so I created my own. Right? That's what he does. He simply wherever he goes, wherever he appears, he creates that atmosphere. And if you're close to this character, you can feel as you will. Whether you're
yeah.
gonna laugh with him, whether you're gonna be angry with him, whether you're gonna celebrate, whatever comes to mind. So he creates his own reality. I really like that with him because I have a tendency to do that as well. Um, although he acts and behaves in a book quite differently from me. Um, he is caught up in this world he didn't quite expect, but he doesn't feel bad about that because he's one thing right before he goes inside and quite another when he walks out. Uh, uh, being this as something that he can't even explain.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I like the idea for people to take what they will as a message, as an act, as an
Mhm.
opinion. If a character you read about can evoke that within you, well, I mean, that's the ultimate
Right.
experience. I don't dare to preach how readers feel,
Mhm.
what they should think about when they read. No, it's just like a river, free flow.
So
Yeah,
then, what does the man mean to you? Who is the man to you?
that's a good question. You done your research. Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I guess he is still present, but not all the time. Definitely, he actually I am these days I'm considering a sequel, but a sequel will not be what the Woods was. No,
Mhm.
he has to evolve as we always do. So yeah, I mean, in a book, I have to say he's much bitter than I am. He's a bitter person. Bitter
Mhm.
person. But he's bitter unintentionally. He doesn't want to
So
be
is he a
bitter.
person? That you write him as a person? Because to me, I wasn't sure if it was a dream or a reality in the book.
Well, that's for sure something that goes inside within him. And that was I think that was the biggest challenge for me when I was on that track. I had um, a situation, if you would, to keep wanting to write about this person, and yet at the same time I was thinking like, oh, I mean, is this just one of these never-ending stories? I mean, I had a feeling I would never finish it, never ever. So these were two
Interesting.
battles with him, and I was kind of hooked on that, because I think I felt at that time that was very exciting, and interesting field to explore. Again, because that was putting me right back to what identity was. So who is this person? That's a good question. Who is this? Who is this place? What is this? Like, uh, right deep into it. When you just can't call what is reality, what is fiction.
So that's a great segue into my next question because there's another character you write about, and that is the clown. And the way I wrote down in my notes that I describe the clown, it's your alter ego, but it's also like the snake in the Garden of Eden telling Adam and
Yes.
Eve, "Are you
Mm.
sure?" So every time you have a good thought, your alter ego, the clown, comes in and
Right.
questions that, sows doubt. And
Mm-hmm.
in contrast to the man, I wrote down bad versus good versus even. When I guess the man became that voice of good within your head. And
Mm.
then you go to the ultimate thing and you talk about choice.
Mm.
When there was a card reader by the name of Gary that you encountered in the woods, and he read your cards and he told you ultimately it comes down to choice. So let's
Yes.
explore that a little bit.
I love that. I just love that. First of all, I deeply believe in choices. Uh, no matter how challenging and hard sometimes it feels to deliver them. Um, so yes, I'm glad you mentioned clown. Well, I guess he is a protagonist's critic, but I mean a little stretch on that, right? Um, he, at times I thought about him as evil, pure evil, as somebody who derivingly, sets you down and purposely brings you down because, well, I mean, it's I at times I compared him with a Joker from the Batman movie. This very bad
Exactly.
guy
That's how I saw it.
who
Yeah.
just like he just uh, who is to say he's bad? Who is to say he's not? I mean, he is, right? But the challenge is how you overcome it. How you overcome that, because the clown and the Joker, they are very very hard to overcome, because ultimately it's the same person basically. Um,
Exactly.
and so that's what the story later on reveals. Um, at that time, uh, Clown was somebody who appeared because I guess the main character was lonely. I mean, stripped from everything he possibly believed in, and he was kind of desperate. And yet, in all desperation, in all this doom and gloom, he was able to see the world positively, and he was able to hear the music, to feel the warmth of the fire, to actually have a feeling that he's comforted by something he has no idea what that was.
Yeah.
So we have the theatrical battle between these two characters, and you have no idea what's going on. You just can feel and see. I mean, imagine these two entities, um, not actually sure what they're doing, other than trying to survive. Both of them actually, because they can't. No matter how paradoxically this sounds, no matter who they are and how they behave, they cannot survive on their own. They need each other.
Yeah. So tell me, in the work that I do with clients like yourself, I get a lot of people who live in limiting beliefs, not believing they're good enough, and living in the past, which is exactly why I wrote my book, because I had a journey of moving away from that, overcoming that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you then symbolize the clown, is that can I make the assumption then that that is that old self that, oh, you're not good enough, you cannot do this, because that's what I read in the book.
Sure. Yes, another good question. Um, Well, I mean, not necessarily, a tale, but I think the character of the clown follows you as it is. That's simply that other side of you, um, not only trying to survive, but fighting for its voice, because without voice and without the image, it's nothing.
Right.
And so it becomes powerless. Um,
Yeah.
so I think no matter how much we perfect our identity, we always have that niche, always have that voice at the back of my head. I mean, because we are designed as people, as humans, to survive. Our early man, way before, they didn't think about being happy. They thought about surviving, whether it's night or day, whether they're hungry or not. Everything else came afterwards. All the freedom and all the happiness and all the decisions and free and the choices. Uh, so I guess as we grow, we understand. Hopefully, we understand that better. So I think he's always there. The question is, in what amount? I mean, how much do you allow him to have a voice? Without a voice,
Well,
it
at
doesn't happen.
some point, you did tell it to go away when you were in the cave.
Mm.
You did tell it to stop. And
Mm-hmm.
to me, I didn't see a lot of it after that in the novel.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that is sometimes we have that choice to tell it, go away.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, obviously, our mind is very loud at tricky situations, as that was. When you
Yeah.
are cornered, when you're filled with self doubt, when you have no idea what you're doing, when you're afraid, everybody's afraid of something. Um, uh, it's been naturally called, whether you like it or not. He's there. That's a part of nature. That was also very interesting to me to explore. And also, the clown is just a manifestation of one pattern. Because if you noticed, he's not the only one there. You know, um, this the protagonist, uh, he lives his life as so many people.
Yeah.
um, and the question is whether he decides who they are. I left that for everybody to draw their own conclusions, because I mean, who am I
Right.
to say? Oh, you have to stick with this one. You have to decide who this is. No, it's like an open interpretation. That's what I
Right.
like. So I don't
So
preach anything.
talk about open interpretation.
Mhm.
The line between dreams and reality becomes beautifully blurred in this book. It
Yeah.
kept me guessing. And because you told me it's kind of an autobiography, I kept questioning, is this based on a real experience? Is it not? And then even some of the scenes in the book,
Yeah.
meeting the beautiful woman Gloria when you hit your head. Is she real? Is she not? And then it just ends like that. You know, you get lost and she never returns again. Yet you meet another beautiful woman in the ghost town. And just
Right.
like that again, it just
Mhm.
it's like mist in the sun, it just evaporates. And then the last
Sure.
woman you meet when you're out with your friend, again,
Hmm.
you kind of get out of the bathroom and she's just gone. But there's a contentment in you, in the character. I'm saying in you because you said it's an
Sure.
autobiography. So let's unpack that a bit.
Okay. Well, right before the female came to place. Um, um, so I remember main character was happy because the woods was pleasant for to him. You
Right,
know, all the thing, like, I mean, there are just beautiful elements, like describing where he was, and basically understanding more about what was going on. And then um I guess something told me. I guess a silent voice told me that after that should be the last time the woods get pleasant for him. The woods gets a nice place, because after that everything goes down, everything
right,
collapses, and I
right.
have to I have to come up with the with a proper uh, scenery and a concept for that, because uh, the first thing I wanted to touch upon is that I I wanted to think about something that convinces me. before it gets out there, before others they come to contact with it, I need to be persuaded. If I didn't believe in that story, I wouldn't go forward with it. So whether this place is real, who can tell? I can't even. I'm not. I wouldn't be so arrogant into thinking that I have to be the ultimate person. Oh, the woods is this and the woods is that. No, like I said, I leave that to audience for them to presume
Right.
what it is. So and characters, female characters in a story, um, a touch on them. A touch on them was basically to comfort a little bit the main character, because main character comes from a lot of loneliness,
Yeah.
being alone, being lost, and just um, trying to get his grip on what his life was. Mind you, no parents, no girlfriend, nothing, no job, nothing.
Yeah.
He had nothing. He was totally stripped by everything. The only thing he had was clothes on his body. That's it. So yes, much of it was based on real characters for sure. Because if it wasn't, I don't think I could write anything
Right.
in a story. But that's when like I said, that's when fiction and reality come to play, and it was interesting to juggle with that, to juggle with more balls to see how long can I have them in the air, um, to really discover who these people were, because yes, they are based on real people, and well, I mean that's pretty much all I can tell you about that.
The conclusion I made at the end is I've seen life in general sometimes as hills and valleys going like that all the time. You climb the mountain, you fall, and you climb the mountain, and in a sense, that's the sense I got in the book. Is the character gets to a high and then something happens, and I think sometimes that's life. And
Sure.
when bad things happens in our lives, sometimes it completely throws us off our road, of our tracks. And to me, I realized that at the end of this, it was getting to that place within myself where actually I'm so solid within myself that the mountains and the valleys can come, but
Yeah.
I'm still exactly like that quote that from your website I gave at the beginning. Excellence is still in me. Doesn't matter what life happens around me, and that's really what I
Absolutely.
got from the book in the end. And it's
Mm.
my personal interpretation, but I thought it was pretty
Yeah.
good.
Sure. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Um, that excellence. I mean, much of it, much in the story, as he rummages his way through what the woods is in a story. Uh, like you said, it fluctuates up, it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. At some point, he doesn't see the way out. He simply doesn't. And well, then again, life comes to two choices. First choice is to just stay there and whatever die, or to get a grip, to put the muscle straight and to move forward. And yet, what's very very funny for me is that he, in spite of all the things contradictory, is in spite of all the bits, he always seems to find naturally, I guess, a positive way of life, positive way of view. He has this optimistic, a point of view, and he somehow finds that with himself. That I guess it's a power of his
Right.
character, you know.
Right.
So when I had that, that was like a cord, it was a spine for me to realize, okay, I mean, if everything beats you down, if you have to go down for everything, it's not going to be the lack of that power to fight, the power to maintain and to survive, and to basically, if I often I know how to say that, there's a line I keep repeating, that if you have to go down, if you have to go down with a smile.
Exactly.
So yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
a
So
question,
hmm,
the blurred lines between reality and dream. Right at the beginning of the book, it opens
right.
with the birth of the character, which
Right.
I assumed is your birth.
Yes, it is.
And then, okay, so you were then born with
Mhm.
a defect on the left side of your body.
Correct.
Okay. You never conclude that. So, for my curiosity's sake, how did you get over that?
Well, thank you for asking that. That's sweet of you. Yeah, I mean, you know, so this story took on, um, uh, it jumped forward pretty fast because I didn't have an idea. I didn't want to hold on to that too much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just want to mention that as something that is presumed by free will. It happened. Yes, my mom had a very tough labor. She lost a lot of. I mean, uh, you know, I can testify to this story based on her story. I have no idea.
Mm.
I'm not conscious of that. She is. So, but she always tells me with the care because I mean, we almost lost our lives. And something. No one believed in me. Everybody thought I'm gone. I was very weak. I was incubated for I don't know even how long, and after 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 days and days and days of my mom being alone because they didn't allow her to see me, she accidentally saw a nurse in a hallway, and she asked her, I mean, am I going to be able to see my child? And the nurse said, well, I mean, probably not a good idea. Nobody thinks he will survive. I mean,
Hmm.
can you imagine that moment for
That's
a mom to
crazy.
hear? I mean, that's just I mean, no matter how strong you are, I mean, that's just that puts you down. And so, but something obviously something wanted me to live. I
Right?
had no idea. And by the way, I'm totally grateful for that in a larger picture, because to be quite honest, I think I was born that way. I was born that way um, to have extraordinary life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so uh, when I was born, I could only move my left hand fingers. That's it. Nothing else.
Interesting.
Everything else gone, blocked, paralyzed.
So how long did
Um,
it take your mom to see you?
that's a good question. I am not so sure about details. I mean, she doesn't even know what time I was born. It's all blurry, and the papers got lost and whatever. Some very messy story. But she told me she told me the story of how I was brought up, and when I had this in mind, I always have this in mind when I have a tough challenge, and when I have a difficult decision, and when I have to fight for what I want to do and what I believe, because I think these things mark us, and they tell us, okay, silently you are born for greater things. Silently,
Mm, mm,
that means do not settle for anything less. Please don't settle
right.
for anything less, because you were born for this, you were born into this. But it's up to you whether you want to squander it, or do you want to focus and do it. Because
Right.
you can, I mean, I've throughout my career, I saw so many people wasting their talent, on this and that. And I always lead them to understand, you guys have talent, but it's your choice whether you want to go to park and forget about the whole thing, or you want to get a job, get to work and
Mm-hmm.
actually do something, because
Right.
by doing something, you will inspire others to do it as well. It's not
I
about
love it.
you only.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
Yeah.
to fast forward this, I mean, then I had many procedures, many these, how do you call them, the the examinations with the electricity and stuff like that. They basically, what happened is that nerve got broken. The nerve got ripped off, and I was very young back then, so they didn't have technology for repairing that. I think
Yeah.
they have it now. I still have the hand like that, but it's much better now because it's movable, and it's motorized. The only thing I don't have is that I can lift it from my left shoulder. I have to help myself with
Okay.
the right hand, because right hand is like Hulk, right? It's very very strong, double
Mm-hmm.
strong. And so now I'm just too much accustomed to it. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
sometimes it gets blocked, because it's not same, but But I think I got the best of it. I got the best
So
of it.
I almost say to you that what I see in all of this and in your absolute passion in life is to come back to your true self and to excel from the inside out. It's that it was something inside of you that were actually not weak but strong, that willed
Mm.
yourself to become the man you are today and to overcome. So I
For
think that's
sure.
quite a wonderful thing. And then the way I read the book was
Mm.
probably against the backdrop of my own story, because one of the recurring themes in my
Yeah.
life, in my
Mm.
book, and in my work is becoming our true self rather than living from survival patterns, which
Yeah.
sometimes I would also say from being a victim. So when I read the words, I wondered,
Mm.
um, and you confirmed it for me already, whether the journey through the woods was really a journey back to yourself. And ultimately, would you be happy if everybody reads that interprets it like that when they read the book?
Sure, sure. Like I said, I like to hear different interpretations because now the book is out there, and I mean, who would I be if I would say to people what to think and how to read it? Everybody, every single person should realize and experience this in their own way. That's why the woods exists. So much like yourself, they told me their experience was one thing before they went to the woods, and then when they came out, their impression was totally different. So yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's identity, it's a mystery, it's the journey, and it's self-discovery. Because like I said before, this is what we lack now, and we simply need to go back to ourselves right before we go anywhere else and be out there for other people. And that's my mission, by the way, with all the things I do, because I would say, no matter how pulpy that sounds, I would say that this is extraordinary life. And I have a funny story for you, just very quick. um People keep asking me, if I had a chance to have a superpower, what superpower would I have? And I just smile and I say, what is the point of wishing to have a superpower? Like, oh, I wish I had this as a super. No, live your superpower, bro. Live it,
Right,
because you were born into this world to put out that maximum potential. Your maximum potential is your superpower. Everything else is fiction.
right,
Not to say that fiction is bad, but you have to live your superpower. Stop asking yourself, what if? You have nothing from what if. Live it. Be
right.
free. Being free is your superpower. Being somebody's lover is your superpower. Having a healthy family is a superpower. Being able to do what you like is a superpower. Everything else, but of course, this demands a special mind frame, so you have to work on that.
Right. So,
Okay.
in closing, I would like for you to tell us a little bit more about your new book, The Monster.
Sure, I'll be happy to. Sure. Well, the monster is pretty new, and actually, um, you know, monster is a little bit different from the woods, but has some similar elements to it. Basically, what I can tell you, because this is very new, it's a story about a person, a trumpet player, very, very famous one, a trumpet player. And I was drawn to this story, uh, again, from my own experience, because the book opens with the dedication to unrealized dream, mine, that is. Um, I mean, for many, many, many years since I was a kid, I wanted to learn how to play saxophone. But for character, saxophone didn't quite cut it. Something was off about him playing saxophone. So the trumpet is my favorite instrument. So this character exists from before, and he is mentioned in a previous published novel, Marcus, just very, very briefly. So I wanted to explore him more. and he was very, very good at what he did. He was renowned, educated, celebrated trumpet player. He enjoyed wealthy life, and he had a woman he loved, and the whole story. Well, then, by chance, something happens. I don't want to discover what it is, because I mean, people read, and he loses his ability to play. So he loses his ability to play, but he loses, not just he loses an instrument or something like that. He gets hurt, and he is simply not able to play anymore. And so everything changes for him from then. Everything changes. And so the monster basically is an introduction into what actually happened to him, and how do you come back from a life you knew once before, the life you knew, and you perfected that life, you enjoyed that life to be the middle-aged person. And so, and when, if that is taken away from you, how do you go back from that? Like, you have to reinvent your life totally, completely. And he doesn't know what else to do. The only thing he did, and the only thing he educated himself for, was to be a trumpet player.
Interesting.
And that happened in an instant. One night, something happens, he gets hurt, and this was very, very dramatical standpoint. But this, again, this story is again about identity, about what we do with our potential, about how brave we are, the decisions we make. Every decision we make sets us in the future and the possible life we live. So that's this is what was interesting for me to explore with this character. And
quite amazing.
And so yeah, and I decided for him to finish off with a positive setup that takes him on another journey towards the end of the story, because I don't believe in endings. I don't believe the story has an ending, but that's just me. And so that's why I wanted to leave an open, positive ending for him, realizing what his life was at that time. I mean, I'm sure you're gonna have the monster in your hand, so you're gonna witness yourself. But yeah, so again, identity, potential. What do we do with that talent we have? Every single person in this world is talented in some way. Some people are wasting it. Some people are using it. So people hopefully will be drawn to ask themselves what are they doing, and hopefully hopefully I'll be there to see and guide them and coach them to it, because that's what I do. Yeah,
that's wonderful. I'm looking forward to reading that, Mark, and I will let you know. So, Mark, thank you so much for being here today, for all your wonderful insights, for the book, for just spilling some of the secrets, I want to say, in the behind the scenes things in the book. So I really thank you for your grace being here, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you as well. I mean, it was, like I said, it was lovely talking to you. Thank you for doing this. You're very kind. Thank you. And I enjoyed, it was a real pleasure for me to meet you and have this conversation with you. I enjoy nothing more. There's no time but present. So I really appreciate it. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. And for everybody watching this and listening to this, I am asking you now if you would please subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time with more stories. Have a wonderful day.